Hi guys, it's Grayson here. So this is my first live stream and I'll get the questions ready and I'll be answering the questions. So because previously I have asked some questions on my Instagram at Grayson_JY. So there's like about 20 or 30 questions. So I'll be answering those questions and we'll get into that. So this is my first live stream as I mentioned. So I'll be answering the questions I have that I put on the Q&A on my Instagram last week. So just give me a minute. I'll be answering the questions. I need to get them managed first. You can ask me anything in the comment sections and I'll be answering those as well. By the way, I realized there's something huge happened in the oil and gold market as I saw some articles yesterday and it's like kind of mind blowing. So yeah, Andrew, nice to meet you. So what questions do you have? So yeah, like I said just now, there's something huge happened in the oil and gold market, and I'll definitely make a video about it, a specific video because it's too much to talk about gold and oil related, especially with the volatility going on. I know many of you are wondering what is really happened, but basically, I to sum it up, basically it's just the supply has more than demand now, because as the coronavirus rises, the demand has definitely go down because as you can imagine, the cars, the trains, the transportations, the aviations, everything they cannot run as usual anymore. But you have to realize that the oil drilling, they can't stop for they just can't press a pause button and the production goes stop. Once the oil drill goes down and it drills until the platform has finished. So they cannot just press a pause button and just let the production stop. The productions will continue, but you have to realize the demand has go down dramatically. So when there's too much demand and that's too low demand and there's too much supplies in a simple economics scenario, the price will definitely go down. So that's basically what happened to the oil market. And to go to sum it up, basically, every time there's a market volatility, the gold will definitely go up. That's just what happens to the commodity market, especially to the gold. It's quite funny, to be honest, to see how a gold, which has no productions formed to any economy, it's just a like because gold is just a commodity that don't produce anything in a economic terms. So it's kind of like a people believe that gold is a safe haven when there's any volatility going on in the financials market, which I feel like, yeah, it makes sense because it's a scared good. So I understand why they. Okay, let me answer these questions first. Hi Andre. So your questions is, let's say stocks go up today and stocks will go down tomorrow. Will my earning be affected? Yes, definitely. Because I'll just illusions it to you. For example, this is the stock chart. Okay, this is a stock chart, and let's say you buy it here at $1. Okay, and the when the stock price go up today to, let's say, 150, if you take profit here, your earning is 50 cents, which is about 50%, right? But if you don't, it goes down tomorrow to 90 cents. So your profit go down 10 cents, which is a 10%. So yes, but like I always say to my viewers, I don't recommend people just bet on the market volatility. I believe in long-term investing, especially in value investing, which mean you buy a good company and you basically ignore the market volatility. You just trust the business itself because you have the previous experience of using the product or services, and you buy the business, and when the price go down you buy it again. So you don't just bet on the volatility because nobody will ever know what will happen to the market. So the best thing you can do in investing is just you invest for the long term, not to bet on the short term volatility, because it never works based on every research has ever done. Volatility, I mean timing the market will never works. So yeah, thank you, Andre. And like I just now mentioned, the goal factors, yeah, it's very interesting because I have realized that gold is actually a economics. It's it's like people blindly believe that gold will actually produce them something in a economic downturn, but it never did, and it will never does because it's not like a business that it will keep on the productions or the labors factors and everything. Gold is just a gold is just a commodities that produce nothing. It's just a safe haven for many investors and many people that have capital exposures to the market. Okay, so let me get the questions from my Instagram and I will start answering those Q&A. By the way, if you have any questions, you can ask me on Instagram at Grayson_JY. No problem, Android. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, and I'll be uploading a video every week for your value and information's sake. So subscribe my channel. So just give me 1 minute to arrange those questions from my Instagram and I'll be answering those questions. And another thing I want to talk about is bonds. Because you see, bonds is a bonds is always moving in a different directions to the stocks market. That's what happened to bonds. When stocks go up, bonds go down. When bonds go down, stocks go up. So it's just like two two entity, and people have to buy on one in every economic situations. So it's like, but yeah, for your questions, what is bonds? Bonds is basically just a proof or evidence that you have borrowed your capital or your money to a certain organizations, company, or even to government bodies sometimes. And for example, in Malaysia here, we have a lot of bonds that are related to governments. We have a lot of bonds that are issued from governments. So we have actually a lot of bonds in Malaysia. Those are linked to government bodies. But it's basically just a proof or evidence that you have borrowing money to the certain bodies, and they'll give you a certificate or a e-certificate nowadays to prove that you have borrowed the money to them. So in futures, for a evidence or for a reference, they will take the certificate back and pay you back your capital and the interest rate included. So yeah, that's basically what is bonds: evidence or proof that you borrowed your money to certain organizations or government bodies. I've mentioned this many times in my previous videos. Feel free to check it out. So the first questions from my Instagram is, what qualifications you got? Well, in terms of qualifications, I afraid I don't have the enough qualifications for you, but my track record have said pretty much of what I did in the past. So I start to have exposed in finance market, I mean in capitals market pretty early. When I was, just let me show you. Okay, so when I was 18, I already start to read about many investments books. I read about investments books and many economic related articles and news, and I even go for some seminars included those like economic factors and stuff. So when I was 18, I start to get knowledge from that field. So when I was 19, eventually I bought my first stocks from Bursa Malaysia. It is a Genting Malaysia stocks. Genting Malaysia is a company that operates casinos, hotels, and even entertainment facilities like theme park, everything in Malaysia. It's a very well-known facilities in Malaysia. So when I was, it is my first stock, Genting Malaysia. So I kept it in the nice frame for my, reference sake in the future. But yeah, it's a pretty good investment that I made back in the days, and yeah, I have no regrets of doing that investment at all, because until today it is a very good business going on. But now, because of the coronavirus, Genting Malaysia actually got not shut down, they closed temporarily, because there's no people go out anyway, and actually it's banned in Malaysia to have any entertainments right now until 12th of May or until further notice. So yeah, back to my qualifications. I bought my first stocks when I was really young, 19 years old. And since then, I have my track record for many combinations of stocks. For the first year when I was in stocks market, I have a 6% annual return. I have a 6% annual return, and the second year I have a 9%. Yeah, it's a 9%, because I remember at that year, it's the market is doing pretty well in the beginning, but in the December, if you any of you remember, there's a huge drop in the December stocks market in like 2019 December. So it dropped, so my returns goes to 9%. And last year my record is about 11%, which is out of my expectation because few of the stocks is doing really well in Malaysia and in US as well, because I have my capital exposed in US as well. So last year is doing pretty good actually. Uh, Even though there's the trade war going on, but my portfolio is doing pretty well because I diversify quite well. I can say that. So yeah, basically I exposed to there, and my track record last year have a 11%. And this year, wow, everyone in the market thought that this year is gonna be a quite it's gonna be a good year for the financials market, but it turns out that the pandemic has proved us all wrong. So from January until the to January until March, I think I have a negative 20%, negative 20%, and but this month has slowly recovered about 8%. So we will see at the end of the year what kind of market scenario we have. So yeah, I have about 3 or 4 years invested in stocks market, and when I was 21, I actually go for my licensing exam in this certificate here for my investment consultant, which I am certified and legal to distribute the financials product like mutual funds, unit trusts, bonds, and such thing like that. I am certified to distribute the financials product like those for a investment firm in Malaysia named Espring. So since then, I have been distributing financials products, and in fact, I can show my little name card here. So yeah, this is my name card back in the company's. It's called Espring Investment, and it's a member of the Prudential PLC in UK. So yeah, that was my actually it is my first job. It's just that I entered it because I am I'm interested in what happened in the financials market, so I thought it's a good idea to start, and I have experience in investing in stocks market. I thought it would give me an edge, so I joined the firm, and it's doing pretty good, I could say, for a person that go into the financials market relatively young. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good, and until this year, I feel like I need a change of scenario in terms of my career. So actually now I'm thinking to switch to a bank in the same industry as well. It's just I work for another bodies, which is a bank in Malaysia. I don't think I can mention the name right now because I haven't officially started. But yeah, things is progressing. Like I will be going there eventually, but it's not now yet until this lockdown is over. But yeah, basically I have experience working a investment firm, and I have few years investing in stocks market mm, with a pretty good return, I could say. And I have a diversified strategy that really works for me and few of my clients. So in terms of qualifications, I think I have. So but of course it's not much, and it's definitely need a lot of work in the future, which I will definitely keep going working on that. So yeah, that's my qualifications if you're asking. And the second question is, okay, this is a nice one. What stocks do you think we should buy in this market scenario? Well, as we all know, the market scenario now is pretty bad because of oil industry have go down like because myself, my portfolio this year is actually get affected a lot as well. So what I can see in will happen in the near future is stocks like healthcare, green energy, and the consumer goods. I think they're doing pretty good, but in terms of companies like travels, hospitality, and luxury is good. I'm sorry, but I don't think they're gonna do well in this year or even until next year. Actually, until the vaccine has come out for the COVID-19. So, yeah. But myself, I'm planning to get exposures to gold market right now. I'm trying to get my exposures to commodities because I realized that business is it's good to have exposures to stocks in businesses like consumers and everything, but they are not scared, meaning that they have unlimited supplies to the market. But unlike commodities like gold, oil, and because those silver included, platinum, everything, because they have a limited supply. In fact, how much they have in our mother earth, it's fixed. There's no way we can add more gold to the global to the earth, and we cannot add more silvers out in the blue. We can't do that. So yeah, I'm trying to get my exposures to the commodity market right now, as much as I can say it. So to answer your questions, what kind of stocks we should invest in this market scenario? I would say healthcare, commodities, consumer goods, and if you want a little more adrenaline, you can try to invest in petroleum related stocks to the current market scenario, because the price of 1 barrel oil is at about 13 or 14 US dollar right now, which is the lowest in the decade. So I am personally myself, this is not investment advice, but personally myself, I in fact will be trying to get exposed in the petroleum and oil market and gold as well. So yeah, that's my uh, humble opinion to what you should purchase right now. So another questions, tell me a little bit about yourself. So yeah, myself, I'm Grayson, and I'm Grayson, and I have few years working experience in an investment firm in Malaysia, and I have my capital exposed to stocks market, bonds, commodities right now, and countries that I have exposures in are Malaysia. I used to have stocks in Singapore, but I have sold it because of the taxation. It complicated my uh, profits. So Singapore was before, and now I have Malaysia, Indonesia, and US. For now, there's only three, but yeah, there will definitely be more in the future. Because right now I can't diversify my focus too much on too many markets. But for me, I can tell that having 5 countries exposures is pretty good already. Excuse me. And personally myself, I actually like Indonesian stocks market very much. Like very very much for Indonesian stocks market. It has so much activities and so much volume, equals to so much opportunity if you know about stocks. So they have so much opportunity because the volume is so high, and the business the business fundamental is pretty good for the companies that I've invested in. And most importantly, Indonesia is a country that have the fourth most population in the world, which means that they have so much demand for goods, including consumer goods or even to services like banking, like all kind of service and products. They have so much. They have so much demands waiting for supplies. So uh, it's a very attractive stocks market. In fact, if I have to list down my top three stocks market that I like or I fond, the first one is Malaysia because I know the Malaysia stocks market the most, and the second one would be Indonesian stocks market. In the future, if I have the opportunity, I'll actually expose my capital more into the Indonesian stocks market to about 30% or 40% of the total value. Yeah, that's how much I like about Indonesian stocks market. In fact, I've been going to Indonesia for about uh, 4 times, 4 or 5 times now, just to get contact with my stocks broker and to get to know the businesses more by attending the annual general meeting to read their profit and loss statement and such. Yeah, I trying to. Oh yes, and return. The return for Indonesia's market is very attractive as well. I can tell you that because of the volume they have, and because of the because of the volume they have, the trading amount has gone up. Equals to profit. So give it a try, guys. I'm not saying that I strongly recommend you to do that because it's definitely not for everyone. Maybe it suits me, maybe it's near my country, it's like next to my country, and here's Malaysia and here's Indonesia, so it's pretty near my country and I have more opportunity to expose to there. And yeah, we basically share the same language in Malaysia and Indonesia, so there will be not much difference for me to when I read their statement of profit and loss or their uh, balance sheets, cash flow statement, everything. So yeah. So to answer your questions, I have my capital exposed to three markets right now: Malaysia, Indonesia, and US. And like I said, I used to have my exposed to Singapore, but because of the taxations and they charged me quite a lot for my dividend, so I gave up on the Singaporean stocks market, and eventually I came back to my fundamentals strongs options, which are Malaysia, and I exposed to Indonesia, yeah, and in United States. And just a fact of my investment strategy for US stocks market, because I couldn't research much on US stocks market because of I'm in so far and I can't feel the fundamental strongs or weakness of the company. So my investment strategies for United States market is I invest my very large portions of the percentage in index, in S&P 500 index and in Dow Jones index, and another 20% or less than 30% I exposed to individual stocks. What stocks? Amazon is one of them, and yeah, and I have exposed myself to TLT, which is the treasury bonds in US as well. So yeah. So another question is it hard to manage a YouTube channel? Uh, yeah, it's pretty hard to managing this channel. Actually, I have to put up quite a lot of efforts and time as well because I still have my class in university sometimes, and I still have my work in the asset management firm, and I still have to manage my portfolio. So it's kind of make it feels like I need more than 24 hours a day sometimes. But as you keep it going on, eventually you get used to it. So yeah, to answer your questions, is it hard to manage this channel? I would say it's not hard because it's my passion, but it's definitely time taking. So Don't start a YouTube channel just because you feel like you can make it. You start it because you're out of your patience and you know that no matter how busy you are, you will try to commit it to what you started. And when I'm feeling really tired, I actually ask myself one question most of the time: why do I start this? So for example, when I feel like I don't want to put any content this week on my YouTube channel, so I would think that, Grayson, why do you start this? And the reasons come pretty clear in the end. So that's, I could say my self motivation game is pretty strong, but that's just for me. So like I said, don't start any projects, included your YouTube video, just because you think that what advantage or benefit it could bring you, what kind of money it could bring you. You start it because you really have patience for it and you know you will do it no matter how busy you are or no matter how committed you are in others aspect in your life. Do it out of a patience, so that no matter what happens, you still have the heart or effort to finish the certain projects. I've grown my YouTube from 0 subscriber to now 2,000 subscriber in 5 months. Yeah, in 5 months. And I project myself to get into 5K the end of this year and 10K before March of next year. So yeah, and I've accumulated views for about 100K for my 31st video right now, which is a very for myself, it's, I feel like it's a it's not a accomplishment. It's more like I could see that my works is actually putting values to a lot of people, and I actually like that very much. So yeah. Another questions. Also, guys, feel free to ask me anything. If you have any questions, just drop a comment down there, and I'm definitely answering those. one of the things my Indonesian subscriber asked me the most is what I'm doing when I was in Indonesia, or what will I do when I was in Indonesia. Actually, every time I go to Indonesia is basically for few reasons. But the most important aspect or reason why I go to Indonesia is actually to meet my stocks broker. I have to meet him in the Bursa Efek Indonesia, which is the Indonesian stocks market. I mean the Indonesian stocks exchange. I have to meet him there to discuss what happened in the Indonesian stocks market recently, and he can fill me up with informations or updates to the Indonesian stocks market. And yeah, I enjoyed that very much, and I appreciate that very much. Here we actually have a lot of discussions going on when I meet him. And yeah, basically to just get updates, to get enough informations, or just to get enough yeah, basically just to get enough information to do the decisions making. But every time when I go to Indonesia, it's just meeting him, and I said we have a lot of we have a lot of discussions going on with I have a lot of discussions going on with him, and he actually shares with me many insight and many information sometimes. And yeah, I actually enjoying the process very much. So every time I go to Indonesia, I will meet him in the Indonesian stocks exchange. So yeah, actually I'm supposed to go there in this April, but I couldn't do it. So I will just wait until the end of the quarantine, I guess. But yeah, I definitely looking forward to go to Indonesia again. And I remember one of my subscriber asked me, "Do you have plan to have business in Indonesia?" Well, definitely, because my eventually plan is, yeah, I definitely plan to have business in Indonesia, but that's for the far future. So let's see what else questions I have left in my Instagram. Feel free to ask me anything, guys, if you have any questions. I don't like to make the live stream like too formal or anything like my usual video, because I feel like I need to have discussions or even have to chat to get to know you guys more. So I'll make this a very casual things I'm putting on my YouTube every month, I guess. Yeah, I think I'll definitely make one live stream every month just to get to my viewers more and to answering the questions you have. So yeah, I think I'm having a live stream every month or every 2 weeks, depends on the months on my. But I'm definitely putting some Q&A a lot in my Instagram, so I can collect the questions. And when I do my live stream, I will be answering those questions as well. So yeah. Let me arrange those questions I have on Instagram, and I'll answer you guys real quick. So So a lot of repeated questions in my Instagram, like what I do, what experience I have, like simple introductions. I have a lot of repeated questions, so I already answered those. And what else? God. How are you guys doing on the quarantine anyway? Like for me, my routine is it's not as regulate as before. I basically busy on my channel, busy on my digital marketings, and I doing a lot of readings as well as you guys can see here. So, but yeah, definitely it's not as fulfilled or as productive as before. I mean, pre-quarantine, as I cannot meet my clients anymore. I cannot have discussions with my associates or with my partners or with my friends anymore. So yeah, other than online, of course, but yeah, the productivity has go down definitely. But things will become better after this quarantine for sure. When the economy is reopened or the production factors has come back again, it will definitely come back. Don't worry. So when things has go back to usuals, we can see a lot of economics rebounds. So don't worry about the long term influence this quarantine will bring us. I think the vaccines is actually coming out pretty quick. In fact, in yesterday news, I have seen, is it Harvard or Oxford? They have partnered with a Indian pharmacist and medics company. They actually have one vaccines which they have tested to be working, and the production will start at September to be the first trial on. So the production will start at let's say September, and let's say if it's working, this thing will get controlled by the end of the year, by the end of the Christmas, when the economic is reopen again, and it will definitely rebounds in terms of it, even in stocks markets, in economics bodies, in many small businesses, corporate as well. The economy will definitely rebounds. So you have to really stay strong during this very sensitive time. So okay, so if you guys don't have any further questions or any inquiries, so I'll be ending this live stream right now. But again, I'll do this pretty frequently. I actually enjoy having interactions and answering the questions I have. So I think I'll do this pretty frequent. I think every 2 weeks or every month. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next live stream. And for today, this will be the end. And I do expect my next video in probably tomorrow or the day of tomorrow. I think I'll be doing a video targeting about commodities market, about gold and oil. But yeah, I'll definitely upload a video within this week. I think it probably on tomorrow, because yeah, I'll get that content ready and definitely make a video about it. So do expect a new video of mine probably tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So see you guys in the next video, and I hope you enjoy this live stream. So see you guys in the next video. Have a nice day and stay safe.